Welcome back to Northwest Afternoon. You know, we have always on this program explored the many aspects of the human condition, and that will certainly continue today as we meet people who are, well, messy.
Yeah.
You know, especially in two-paycheck families, it is tough these days to keep the house looking ship-shape all the time. Now, if you had someone drop by totally unexpected, unannounced, isn't there the chance that you'd be embarrassed by the condition of your house? Well, today you're going to meet people whose homes are rarely, if ever, tidy.
In fact, our first guest is an admitted pack rat, but she says she is trying to change. You will meet her first in video. This has all been shot at her home because this is the only way to graphically show you how much stuff and what kind of stuff that she is unable to part with. On tape, you will hear her several times refer to Liz. That is Liz Roca, our producer, who shot this video. We didn't want to take a big camera crew and lights and everything, kind of keep it intimate. So, welcome, please, Charlene Green.
Come on in. How you doing? Well, I guess first of all, we can start in the front room. I know this is on messy houses, but I'd like all the ladies and everybody to know what it's like to have a very beautiful house after they do all their junk. Everything that you see in this room is from Goodwill, Salvation Army, or the good old yard sales. I think there's about maybe 2 things in the whole entire room that was actually bought when I was very young. I pick up my furniture for $5 a frame, and then I like to reupholster them and get them all fixed up, so they're just in the middle of the stage of getting all fixed up right now. The mirror that you see there I bought when I was 13 when I first started doing custom-made draperies. And everything else on the wall has been painted, fixed up, and it's what they used to look like. Things on the wall, they used to be all black like this. Then I just take paint, and everything you see up there, maybe, what, 50, 75 cents worth of paint, and a lot of fun sitting up in the middle of the night. Okay, and then I'll kind of show you what my house used to look like. These are rooms that I'm working on, and this is my bedroom, and there's a lot of love in here, but you gotta see through it. This is the good old bed here, and usually most of the nights you see junk at the end of the bed down here. And sometimes you have to retrieve your bed because you don't see it too often. And my husband's been trying to get to his closet for about a month now, but these are the things to come. Maybe about 2 months down the line, you'll have a spotless closet and can hopefully see his clothes again in there. There they are. Real clothes. And these are my dressers, and everything you see in here. Also, this furniture was bought at Goodwill and Salvation Army, and one day we'll get to see it just like we did the front room. A lot of good things, a lot of personality, and a lot of things that I really love in here. Few TV sets around the house. Yep. Believe it or not, there are dressers under there. Maybe about 11 jewelry boxes, but it's fun in there. Oh, one other thing. Since we're talking about the service, this is a picture of my son. My son's on the USS Independence. I do love this. This is very special. Love my servicemen. Then again, Liz, one reason I really wanted you to come, I was really going to turn you down when I heard about this, dead serious, because, and then I decided, no, I want all the ladies to see what was a mess and how you can change and make and change your whole entire life. I'll unveil the, now this top corner over here is what the house used to be like. It used to be about 18 inches from the ceiling in the front room and everywhere, and people would walk through my front door, and the first thing, they'd be standing there talking, and about 5 or 6 minutes later they'd say, excuse me, where exactly are you in the house? This is our dining room table. I did clear it off for my husband's birthday, but well, this is some of the things that I still have to put away and collect. I collect little things like really beautiful treasures in here. I mean, you know, these are really, like, that's a, you know, a lot of women would buy this at the Bond or Fredericks, but praise the Lord, this was about a $2 value there, you know. And then this, I bought this last week. I thought it'd be fun to do fondue pots, but I like brass and copper. Isn't that a bargain? My landlord has even changed all the lights in our house because I keep buying all these lights for a couple dollars, $5 a piece. I like to bargain and try not to get anything over $5. Over here is books for the children. I get all the little books and stuff for my grandbabies, and all of them have a price for Goodwill or Salvation Army for probably, what, 15 cents that I bought it for. And then my kitchen is a real treasure. This is probably my most funnest treasure, is my kitchen. Because everything in here, there again, shows you what you can do with your junk. I love to sit in here at night. I turn on one light or I light a candle. And it kind of puts me back, you know, like at the old-fashioned kitchen. You know, when Grandma had this kitchen and you went in there, she was making toffee or hot chocolate, and she said, sit down, and your eyeballs fell out looking at all the junk and all the stuff that she had in there. Well, this reminds me of my grandma. Do you know there's one thing about collecting junk, as junk collectors well know. When you go to clean house, you have to move it from one room to one room. So I'm going to show you my sewing room. But in my sewing room is machines and stuff that I just took out of my dining room so I can clean the front room. And here's sort of, Anyway, inside here, the boxes and everything that you're going to see on the walls, none of this was here about 4 months ago. So I organized all of my patterns and my lace and all of the other stuff around here. And then over here, even though it looks like a mess, this mess was switched from my dining room, and I brought this little mess in here, and I have like my upholstery machine, and I have my other little professional machinery over here. When you have a lot of junk, you get to make a lot of fun things. And one day somebody said, Charlene, could you take a little of your junk and make some dies? So I made them really pretty dies, and they hang on fish wire out of pieces of glass and fur that I found among all my junk. Believe you me, ladies, you can take all your junk and you can make treasures in heaven in all of your stuff sincerely. Just like my front room, you can feel good about yourself instead of feeling ugly, wanting to kill yourself, or maybe wanting to blow your house up because you feel so bad because it's so messy.
Now, in a moment, you will meet in person the amazing Charlene, along with members of her family. They say she sometimes drives them nuts with all her junk. We'll be right back.
In the last few minutes, you met Charlene Green. Her two daughters are now with us here in the studio today. They are Tarra and Perry, and they're going to share with us a couple of other candid viewpoints about how they feel about their mom's approach to housekeeping. And now we're happy to welcome the star of the house tour you just saw. Here's Charlene Green. Hi, Charlene.
Hi. Hello. So nice to have you here.
I'll tell you, that was a house tour unlike any of us have ever seen, I think.
Thank you very much.
Your place is just like an auction waiting for bidders. Isn't it?
Oh, it's got a lot of love in it.
You know, at the end of the tape, you said something kind of interesting, and maybe we can just seize on that. You were talking to other women who might be watching and saying, if you would rather feel some other way than like killing yourself or blowing your house up. Does the fact that things are in a mess at home sometimes get you down?
So what it actually does, it scares you to the death to the point you want to go hide in a closet, or you want to run away, or you know you can clean it, you know you can do it, but when you raise 6 kids, it seems like everything just falls down on you. And I think the greatest gift in learning to start cleaning it, I had to find me first. And when I found me, then I was ready to begin to start doing it, because otherwise I wanted to blow it up.
But Perry, let me ask you, you grew up in this house and in this surrounding. What was it like for you? with all this stuff. As a matter of fact, you were the one who contacted us
Yes,
about
I did.
Mom.
I did. As soon as I saw the rat people on the show, I said, oh no, have I got one for them, you know? I thought, yeah, I have one for them. It was interesting. You know, Mom is a very loving person. You know, we grew up in love. And so to us, it was accepting Mom for what she was and accepting the house the way it was. Sure, there were times when I didn't want to bring my friends home. Sure, there were times when I didn't want to bring guys over to the house.
Did you ever?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
The ones that I really knew that they would accept Mom, especially the guy I'm with right now, Charles. You know, first time he ever came over to the house, he went, whoa. He used to crack jokes when he came over. My dad would be sitting down in the living room, or all of us, and he'd go, I hear you, but where are you? You know, he never knew where we were, you know, so he used to get a charge out of that. But yeah, there were times, especially her and I, you know, after my divorce, I moved back in with her. And so I used to keep a real spotless house, and it was really hard for me. We used to knock heads a lot. But, you know, with a little prayer, I've really learned to understand who she is. And because I love her, I want her to be happy. But she's been cleaning the house, and it's been looking really great.
Let's check with another younger member of the family, too. What's your view, Tarra, in terms of bringing friends over to the house? I mean, obviously, you live there, so you kind of understand the situation. But for somebody walking in from the outside, how do they react?
Well, I usually warn them before they come in.
What do you say? You warn them, what do you say?
I usually say, well, my mom collects a lot of stuff, and we have stuff all over, so excuse the mess. But we have a roof over our head, so, you know.
Here, let's seize on the word mess for a minute, too, because I think there are probably two ways to get to a mess. One is somebody who is just plain careless and doesn't care what their home looks like. And the other way to get there, I suppose, is to start from the standpoint of being a collector. That's your path.
I think the uniquest thing is to get in a car, to drive down the street, and the second you see a garage sale, it turns you on. I mean, you get so hot.
You can't resist them.
No. I don't know whether it's my car that goes to them or it's me anymore, but I'll tell you what, you get there. These things are used. These things have been given love. They have personality. Even some used clothes. Yeah, I tell my kids, hey, they got love before they even came to our house. There's a world in junk that is so unique, and everything I've brought home, honestly and sincerely, I either wanted to fix it up, recreate it, repaint it, like painting. My mother's being operated on right now in Tacoma General. 2 nights ago, I sat up and I painted for 4 hours because I was worried about her, and I painted my junk.
That was your therapy.
That was my therapy. Yeah.
You know, I'm wondering, because you are really serious about it. And I sense that there is a caring for the things that you do collect. Did you ever think about running a business? In which you would collect, repair, and then sell.
Yes, Yeah, we have about 45 boxes of junk for the swap meet coming up here this summer. Oh, yeah. My landlord decided that we need a little house cleaning, you know, because it is a fire trap, and so we've been really, really, really working on it. And all of the boxes this year, it'll look all like my front room. It will all have a place, and all my goodies that I can't put on the wall, they will no longer be there. Somebody else will get to have them in their home.
All right, Nancy in the audience has a question. Go ahead.
I was just curious, if you were looking for something, if somebody asked you, do you remember where you put something, do you know where to look for it? Do you have categories in each room? Or?
Strangely enough, yes. I know wherever, I know people are fascinated. They'll say, or they'll call me up in the middle. What's funny is people will call me up and say, do you have this, Charlene? And I'll say, yeah, you need some? And they'll say, yeah. and I share all of my possessions. These are God's gifts. They're not my gifts. So when people call, and yes, strangely enough, I do know where they are.
Wow. Or when something's missing, she knows if it's been took.
Yeah,
so you don't dare.
So if something's missing, you know it's gone?
Oh, yeah. I had a real sweet young man come in, and he admired my little brass turtle.
Yeah.
And he marched it home, and I searched the whole house because I didn't want to accuse him, you know, unneededly. And then finally I said to him, he came over and I said, excuse me, but did you take my brass turtle home? And he said, how did you know? I said, for what it's worth, this is my house that's full of love. All of the things on the wall bring me happiness. And when a piece of my neatness is gone, I said, I missed it. And I said, now, if you wouldn't mind bringing it back at your leisure when you want to, I'd be honored. And he's still a friend that comes to our house, and he's still accepted because he brought it back.
Let's take a phone call. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Brent, and I'm wondering what your relatives say when they come over.
They're what?
Relatives. Brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles.
Oh, relatives. They don't really come over that often, to be real honest with you. I would love to have them come over. And I'll tell you, when my relatives come over, they are sat down in a chair, they are given pillows for their feet, and they are treated like kings and queens. And I don't think it's ever been an obstacle. They kind of laugh if I'm going to have a family dinner at the house. But when I have a family dinner, my house is spotless because I honor them when they come to my house. I do not invite them unless it's clean.
It's interesting, especially after seeing the video, to meet you and hear you talk about the things that you collect.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break. And up next, you're going to meet a man who claims that he lives with the messiest woman in the Northwest. He's going to take us on a video tour of his home also. We'll be right back.
Touch here on Janae Ostrom, who's with us as well. First, just give me a thumbnail sketch of your own experience which led to some considerable expertise on your part in this area.
Well, I come from a whole family of pack rats, and I grew up in a pack rat home. My mom was what I always thought was a world-class pack rat until I started working with other folks who
Until you met Charlene?
No, even before I met Charlene. and I'm a licensed therapist, and so when I had to go in and start working on getting her house cleaned out when she could no longer live alone, I began, for the first time in my life, really began to understand what she kept and the quantities of things that she kept.
What makes a person a pack rat?
That's kind of a complicated question, but just in a real quick sketch, they have more stuff than they can manage in their life, and it's creating problems for them.
So this is really underneath it. This has a serious undertone. I mean, obviously with Charlene, this was bothering her.
For some people. Now, some people, it really doesn't bother them.
It doesn't seem to bother Joanne.
And if it doesn't bother them, and unless it's creating problems for other people who share space with them, or it comes to the attention of the authorities, which then can become a very serious problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, a person has a right to live however they want to. But more often, people don't know how to deal with this and often become very depressed. It creates tremendous problems in relationships.
All right, I hate to make quick of it, but let me ask you in just a second. We'll take a question in the audience, and then I want to know if there is a quick fix. Where do you start to undo this? Katie has a question. Go ahead.
I want to direct this to Charlene. When I heard about this show last week, I just wanted to come. And you know, I came here today with prejudging you and negative attitudes, and I just want to compliment you, and I have compassion for you, and I feel truly blessed to be here to meet you today. And
Nicely said, Katie.
Nice?
That's terrific.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, if you can take an issue and deal with it one day at a time, it almost looks to me like Charlene is dealing with this one room at a time. Yeah. Is that the way to approach this if you do want to deal with it?
Absolutely, because one of the things that most pack rats or savers feel most of the time is overwhelmed.
Yes.
Just absolutely, totally overwhelmed. And oftentimes they do not have any idea where to start or how to go about the process of clearing things out.
So you break it down into small pieces and take one piece at a time.
Yes.
Will things at your house change, Michael?
Oh, it does every week.
Okay. And yours will change when you're ready to have it.
It's clean right now.
It's clean right now.
Right now it's
Did you bring any pictures? Thanks, Joanne, for being here. Michael, nice to meet you. And Charlene, lovely to have you with us.
Thank you very,
Thanks very much. Nice to have you here today. We'll be right back and tell you about tomorrow's show.